So Balefire started out in 2016 now? I have no concept of time, but I think that's when, 2016. And it was, I wanted to do a murder mystery. And well, I wanted to do theater in general. But I was like, you know what? I want to do a murder mystery because I did this show in high school. And it was called Slaughterhouse by Norman Robbins. Not Slaughterhouse 5, because people always ask me that. But it was that show, and I remember that was the first show that I was like, I really think I want to do theater. Like, I think this is what I want to do. And I loved that character, I loved that show, and I said, well, you know what? If I want to do this on my own, I'm going to do that show. So it had to start, at least for me, it had to start with that. And I coincidentally lucked out, and I was good friends with the performing arts chair, Karen Oster at Middlesex, and texted her and was like, hey, I need a rehearsal space. And she was like, hey, the president of the college wants me to do a murder mystery. And I was like, that's what I'm wanting to do. So we kind of did it with Middlesex for 2 productions. And then I was like, cool, now I'm gonna do it on my own. So like I did everything, but it was like through Middlesex, so it still kind of felt like working with like my professor in that capacity. And I didn't feel like I was doing it on my own yet. And then after that, I was like, cool, got a little studio space, started rehearsals. Something fell through with that space, and then just walked into here one day. So this is Gallery Z. It used to be, so we're in the process now of, it's now a Gallery Z Performing Arts Center, and it's turning into a nonprofit. So it used to be a co-op space, which it kind of still is, but now it's a performing arts center. So we have comedy. Like next month we have Steve Sweeney, who's this big name in Boston. And we're becoming more of like a melting pot for comedy, music, theater, poetry, like all that sort of like singer-songwriter stuff. So we're always changing into another form, it seems, because I feel like the gallery, we have a monthly show, but I feel like the gallery itself kind of changes every time too.
So my first interaction with Balefire Productions was actually as an audience member. I believe it was Good Grief. They did their play here, and I saw that. I also saw, forget the name of it, but a few other stuff. But for auditioning for Balefire, I would go onto the Your Theater 411 website, which is a really good website for actors looking for local auditions.
I think maybe 2016 or 17. I was in another play in Lowell because somebody dropped out at the last minute, and Leo saw me in that show and introduced himself afterwards and told me about Balefire. It sounded fun, so I tried out for an audition for a play, and I think the next one was The Christmas Carol. So I was actually the narrator in The Christmas Carol.
So at this point, I have been, pretty serious about acting for 10 years now. And I can still remember, I still remember 11 years ago when I was telling people like, no, I couldn't do that. You couldn't pay me to get up on that stage and do all that jazz. It's not gonna happen. And then 1 year later, me and a couple of buddies were just like I'll do it if you do it. All right, it's fine, whatever. We'll just go do one show and then goof off, and then that'll be it. We'll have some fun. And then we did that, and I'm like, wow, that was a mind-blowing experience. I want to do that again. Like, I think I'm gonna audition for the next show, and then again, and so on for the next 10 years. And now I'm like, I don't want to stop doing this. I want to keep goofing off on stage. I want to keep acting, singing, dancing, all that stuff. It's such a rush,
Yeah, I think if you're even thinking about it a little, you got to go for it. You have to do it. There's always going to be, community theater that maybe you start out and you do something kind of goofy and stupid, where the stakes aren't as high. There's always it's not Broadway every time you audition for something. So I would say audition for stuff. If you don't get it, it's just because they had too many people. It's not because you're not good. And yeah, have fun with it, because that's what I'm doing.
So this is a show I wrote in I actually finished it in around like 2017 and was perfectly happy with it at the time. Workshopped it, everyone loved it. And then we did it here in July of 2019. And it's the first full-length play I've ever written. And was very nervous. And we had a like little sit down right before auditions happened. And I said, I don't like the script anymore. So I'm going to change it. Give me 2 weeks. And then I don't know how I did it. It's never happened again. But I took 2 weeks to myself and went, you know what? Things have changed in my life in the past 5 years and I don't identify with that script anymore. So like the characters themselves all switched. There was a new character introduced. So the script kind of changed with me and like with the gallery and the experience. And now I knew the space that we had because we didn't have the dinner theater. And so this show is it originally was just about two guys. It actually started off as a one-page scene. No, one-page scene. One-act scene that was like 10 minutes long for a directing class for one of my really good friends, Josh Ray. And he was like, cool, I don't want to do this because I want to be in it or be involved in it in some way. And so I just turned it into a play. And I rewrote it because a lot of things happened in the past couple years at that time. And my father had passed away the 2 years prior. So I was like, I have to do something in this play to like remember him. So the play actually is pretty much like a remembrance of him.
So Owen Flynn is a very active participant in his and everyone else's life. He has this quality that is, I don't have a word for it yet, but it's like the opposite of wallflower, if that makes any sense. It just means that for me, it means that he's not afraid to make decisions. He's not really getting pulled around by the people in his life. He's doing more of the pulling.
Yes, in the show I play Eli Chambers. He is one of two guys at a bar. Wink, wink. At first glance, upon first encountering Eli, we see that he's a bit reserved, keeps to himself a lot, but as soon as he gets comfortable with certain people, namely Owen and Katie, he lets loose a lot. He puts himself out there and he shows a little wilder part of himself.
Well, the fun thing about Everyman is that he is actually multiple people. So I play a couple different characters that are kind of on the fringes of the story that aren't the main three characters. So I get to play around with I have three, I think basically three who are pretty big, and I'm trying to have them be as different as possible. And one of them you're supposed to like, and one of them you're maybe not.
I was in the original production, Leo's original production of Two Guys at a Bar, where I played Eli Chambers, and then 4 years later, I am reprising my role. So I'm back, baby. Yeah, it's a really cool experience getting to delve back into a role you had played years previous, because that in some ways, obviously, you're playing the same character in the same play. Certain elements are going to feel exactly the same, and then other elements are going to feel vastly different. Namely, the fact that, I'm same character that I was, but now I got all these different actors playing these different roles that were played by different people years ago. And that adds a whole new dynamic. This person is going to play Owen a lot differently than the last actor played Owen, and it's on me to figure out how to work with that new dynamic and how to play off his kind of acting versus how I played off the other guy's acting.
So how would I like to see Lowell's art scene grow and change? More of a collaborative effort, because I know I'm doing my own thing. Everyone's kind of in their own artistic pools, and I would like it to almost, I just thought of one of those art palettes. I feel like everyone's a different color, and I feel like it would be cool if we could work on one piece together. Or I don't know, just be in the know more. I feel like there's so many channels, there's Lowell, there's Mosaic, there's so many things to keep up with. But I feel, just for me, I get inundated with everything that's going on. that I wish there was more, I don't know, like chill events to like create art, something, I don't know, doing a live drawing, doing something, which we did like I think a month ago. We had a musician come in the gallery and he was singing and someone was painting him. So something like that. Because there's not a lot of, I don't know, I feel like we need to reinvent something to then all be on the same page again. And I think it's kind of going that route. But yeah, more of a collaborative art scene. Because I like the color that's coming to Lowell, the mosaics, I love everything that's coming to Lowell, but it's like the people who work and live and breathe in Lowell, I wish there was more of a collaborative.
I would love to see more people just thinking to themselves, hey, I could do this. I have $15, I don't know, whatever, you know? I think you don't have to do something huge the first time, you know?
I think it would be great if more local theater companies would be able to start up and just make it more lively and more artsy around here in downtown Lowell. I think that would be great. I also would, just something personally I would love to see is just something like outdoor, like an outdoor theater experience. I've not seen, but I've heard about like people doing outdoor Shakespeare, so I think that's really interesting.
I just want to see it grow. I want to see it expand. I want to see people with these ideas of something fun to do, acting, singing, anywhere in the arts realm. And I just want them to come forward and just do what they can to make it happen. Just make the Lowell area aware, to say, hello, here I am, here's what I have to offer. And I say just go for it, you know? If you like comedy, if you like drama, I'll say this to you. If you like comedy, if you like drama, this has all of that. It's a story of self-discovery, self-realization, and battling with oneself, with one's emotions, and figuring out how to deal with these new aspects of yourself in a way that's going to help you continue forward with life, especially knowing that certain elements of yourself and of your life, it's going to cause you and or other people pain. You will experience pain in life, and it's up to us to figure out how we can still move forward through that pain.
So you can go to our website, which is balefireproductions.org, and you can see all the shows that we've done, all the news updates. And this show will be premiering September 15th, 16th, and 17th, and 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.